Hey guys, it's Aiden from Maine's Football Talk, and today I'm going to be showing the NFL decades throughout the year because, yeah, another decade just passed. I'm gonna have to kind of go through this quickly. Also, there's Bed Wars in the background, Minecraft Bed Wars, just to entertain you guys. So let's get started with the 1920s. Now, you can't really tell from that back then, so I'm kind of gonna skip it. 1930s, once again, you can't really tell. You could probably say, maybe like uh, something, hang on. Maybe like in the 30s, you can say the Redskins because they were led by Sammy Bogg. 1940s, once again, I mean, you could actually say there's some teams, but I don't really know any. Maybe the Browns or something. Now, 1950s, that's where it starts. We'll start off with the Browns. They had, what's his name? Otto Graham as their quarterback, and they had a lot of good things, and that was also the last time they won a championship. And then you have the Packers, who had Bart Starr, and a lot of stars that came that started. Well, they in the late 50s there were stars starting to come in, so the Packers kind of made it. And then also the Colts with Johnny Unitas. But yeah, it wasn't really much back then. Weren't really like those teams that stood out. However, 1960s, that would all change. So I have the Packers. Once again, they were led by Bart Starr and Jerry Kramer. And that linebacker that I forgot his name, I can't think of him right now. However, yeah, they had a lot of big stars back then, and they won a lot of games. They won the first Super Bowl, in fact. Colts are another one. I mean, it was Johnny Unitas and his receiver, John Mackey, or I think John Mackey might have been the tight end. And then he also had a receiver. And everybody on the Colts 60s team was really, really good. Moving on to the 1970s, we have, back in the 60s, we also have the Chiefs with, Len Dawson. I mean, not many other stars, but they made it to a Super Bowl. They lost that first Super Bowl, and then they made it to another one, and they won that one. And then after that, the Chiefs were, well, trash. But 1970s, we have the Steelers, which quite obviously had the Steel Curtain defense with Mean Joe Green, Rod Woodson, or I don't know if even Rod Woodson, Mel Blount. So many people on that D-line. And then on the offensive side, you had Terry Bradshaw, Win Swan, and I think another guy that I forgot. He's also a Hall of Famer. And Franco Harris. After the Steelers, you also have the Cowboys with like Roger Staubach and that old great offense. But then you have an underrated team from the 70s, which is the Vikings. Like, no one ever talks about the Vikings. We'll start off with the fact that they have Fran Tarkenton as their quarterback, who basically invented the term scramble. Not really anyone else from the offense. However, the defense, Alan Page and Paul Krause, they were known as the Purple People Eaters. and they were really really good. But I think they made it to 4 Super Bowls that decade, but they lost all of them. In the 1980s, we have the 49ers, the Bengals, or wait, hang on. We'll start with the quite obvious one, the 49ers. Yeah, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and that was a team and a half. The first like really super team. Actually, wait, the 70s were the first super teams. However, the 49ers really did well. Bengals, once again underrated. I think they made it to Super Bowls against the 49ers. However, they lost both. But like Boomer Esiason was there, and then to be honest, you can't really say Boomer Esiason just led them. Then you have the Giants, who in the Lawrence Taylor. That's all you need to know about the Giants. And then we also have the Broncos, which John Elway. That super team was just kind of forming, and they had a lot of underrated players on defense. However, let's go on to the 90s, where we have the Cowboys they won three Super Bowls within 4 years. The Bills, who lost 4 in a row, but they made it to 4 Super Bowls. And then you also have the 49ers with Steve Young and Jerry Rice in his prime. And then you have the Packers in the late and now in the late 90s you have the Packers, who is just Brett Favre, and then Sterling Sharp and Antonio Freeman, I guess. And then the Broncos with John Elway in his late, Shannon Sharp, Terrell Davis, Rod Smith, all those really good people who won 2 Super Bowls in a row towards the end of the 90s. Then in the 2000s, you have the Patriots, Tom Brady, the Colts, Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Edgerrin James, and then the Packers with Brett Favre and Antonio Freeman, and then the Broncos. Wait, why did the hang on, never mind. The Vikings with in the early 2000s with Randall Cunningham, Randy Moss, and Chris Carter, which is also kind of the late 90s as well, but whatever. And then finally the 2010s, we have the Patriots with Tom Brady, the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, the Seahawks with Russell Wilson and the Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman in that secondary, and it was a deadly defense straight up. And then the Chiefs, who had like Alex Smith in 2013, and they kind of stayed in the they were like in the playoffs so throughout for the majority of the 2010s, but then when Patrick Mahomes came, that all changed and they were getting deeper into the playoffs. In fact, they won a Super Bowl just now, unless I don't know. And then the Cowboys with Tony Romo for the first half and Dak Prescott and Zeke for the second half. So yeah, that's the end of this video. As you can see, the NFL has changed to a lot. Almost every team has had a good point at some point. And now if there's any extra bedroom footage, I'm gonna let you guys enjoy that. However, I'm going to stop talking, and that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye!